Hello, my fellow doctors. Welcome back to another episode of Disrupting Doctors' Careers. And today we will be focusing on how we serve you as a doctor in working with diverse organisations offering diverse career opportunities across the world. So we're going to take you beneath the surface so you have a greater understanding as to how we carefully screen companies and how this connects you and us to achieving our greater mission of connecting 1 million doctors with the best in diverse career opportunities across the world. So let's go. Let's face it, burnout amongst doctors is sky high, and we're actively seeking other ways to make the most of our transferable skills beyond the usual career pathways. Welcome to Disrupting Doctors' Careers. I'm your host, Dr. Bubbers-Jones, and I'm on a mission to connect 1 million doctors across the world with the best in diverse career opportunities. Right, let's jump into this. We are a doctor-driven organisation. So when I first founded Medic Footprints, it was all about my experience, my colleagues' experience, and the challenges that we found in exploring diverse careers and supporting our own well-being wasn't just a UK problem, which I thought at the time. It is a global problem. And over the years, it has simply gotten worse and become more prevalent, more acknowledged. Doctors are realizing what their other opportunities are, and they are walking with their feet or taking greater control over their careers and looking for more diversity, impact, and environments where they can really use their skill sets to thrive. So let me start with a story of in the first early years of Medic Footprints, which goes back at least 8-9 years now. Like any organisation, in order to run, you need funding, you need money. There's actually no getting around it at all. And you're probably aware that for any organisation or business to get funding, there are different ways of doing it. Number one way is to make your own money. And in doing so, that you retain a lot more autonomy and control over what you do with the business. Number two is use other people's money. So that would be getting investment, grants, charity money, venture-backed money, you name it. And, you know, in doing so, usually you would relinquish some degree of control through that, but also gain a lot of expertise and influence through it. So when I first started in Medic Footprints, I came from an NHS background, and my focus was definitely not on money. It was always on, you know, supporting doctors, providing a really great quality service, events, connecting people. That's what I really loved and still love now. But obviously, in order for us to really make an impact and serve doctors not only in the UK, but internationally, because we found out that it was not just a local problem, it was an international problem with doctors needing support in accessing diverse career opportunities and well-being. It was really about establishing a business model that helped us to grow, preferably autonomously, so that our focus would always remain on doctors. A straightforward way to do this was to offer job advertisements to companies who were hiring doctors, and that obviously fit substantially with our model and what we did in connecting doctors and companies. A lot of them doctor-led companies as well, which is fantastic. But then over the years, we would recognize that both doctors and companies wanted more. I'll use an example of one particular company, actually quite a big pharma company. So no shortage of doctors in this company. But they approached us initially because they really wanted to get out in front of doctors to raise awareness and demystify what working in pharma could be like. So obviously most doctors have had zero exposure to pharma, and also a bit more about their company. So they're looking to connect with doctors to develop a deeper relationship with them over time. So when doctors are ready to take the leap, they're right there. They know about them already. Their friends would have told them about them already, and it's less of a difficult transition. And so with that particular company, we had a very healthy relationship for years, running adverts, but also events on the company's site, what we call engagement events. And that really worked really well and helped them to hire quite a large number of doctors over the years. And then from the doctor side, we noticed, like, what does it take for doctors to move careers? So that's when they're actually thinking about moving and actually make the move. And what it takes includes time. So it's not instant, as you all quite know. It can take several months to years for doctors to really make that psychological and physical transition. But also, they really want as much information as possible up front. I mean, I'm totally like that. Like, you know, you hear about a company, you go and Google, you ask your friends, you rely on recommendations. You're not going to just jump into the first thing you see unless you're really, 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 really desperate. And to be honest, the desperation levels for doctors is actually creeping up because of what's going on in healthcare at the moment, in conventional roles. But recognizing these needs on both sides, so doctors really needing more information over time and companies needing to develop better relationships with doctors over time, we realized that the jobs board model, which is very, very transactional, where you advertise a job and then it kind of goes, like, you know, the minute they find someone, and then they do that again, repeat whenever they need to find anyone, has moved from transactional to more of, I'm not sure the word is transformational, but really focusing on developing deeper, more meaningful in many ways, relationships. So moving on to our mission, where we talk about the best companies or the best in diverse careers. You might be thinking, like, what does the best mean? So we tend to work with companies who have been referred to us by doctors. And that is actually the first and probably the most important step. So we really only work with companies who have been recommended by doctors in some way, shape or form. Because having a strong doctor champion is a really good sign that the company will really provide a great opportunity to doctors. That is just one part of our screening process, as we don't work with every company and we are not for every company. Other key points we look at include, will this role make the most of a doctor's skill set? So as doctors, we are highly talented. We have a lot of skills that can be transferred to any job, any sector. But it's so important that when doctors are moving from any career they're in, that they will continue to thrive and that company or environment opportunity will make the most of their skill sets and enable them to feel valued and make a wider impact in the sector or opportunity they choose. So that is really important to us when we're looking at whether we work with companies or not. And the third point is, does this company support a doctor's well-being? So as you know, one of the main reasons that doctors have chosen to leave their conventional careers is well-being focus. As you know, a lot of us have or are experiencing burnout, which is that severe, especially post-pandemic or peri-pandemic. I hear of a lot of doctors who are experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder type symptoms, you name it. And so when deciding to make that move, it's so important that the new opportunity they go to is going to be supportive of their rehabilitation, in a sense. And in other ways, you know, we really go into these things actually quite vulnerable and worn down from what we've experienced in our clinical jobs. So will this company help us and support us through that? Because rehabilitation takes time. I'm not saying we need a lot of support around that, but it's like will you ensure that you won't make it worse by doing some of the same things that some companies or healthcare environments do to make things really challenging? I'm talking specifically toxic work cultures, very little support, not feeling valued, overworked, high demand, low pay, you name it. So we choose to work for companies who can offer really great opportunities to doctors coming from a range of different sectors. So mainly management consultancy, pharma and health tech, but it is quite broad. And we really prioritize those who are wanting to invest in developing longer term relationships with doctors, because that's what we're about. We have, as an organization, developed and will continue to develop longer term relationships with doctors. We are doctors. What's driving this organization are doctors, and the companies we work with really have to be able to model that. And what is the key value that we offer companies? One, helping them to really understand doctors and define exactly what type of doctor they need. As you might be aware, that a lot of companies don't really get doctors. They don't really understand their value, and they think we are a homogenous breed, which is definitely not the case. Two, we help them to raise the visibility of their opportunity, so the community is aware of what they can offer, whether it's for them or whether it's for their friends, because we have an extensive connected network. And three, we help companies to develop their own talent pool. So that is so they can develop relationships with doctors over time and let them know when the right opportunities come up, rather than going down the whole transactional pathway that, in many cases has its purpose. So you'll see that on a lot of companies who offer job boards. But we tend to go much deeper than that over time. And as you know, this connects to our greater mission of connecting 1 million doctors with the best in diverse career opportunities. So if you, listening to this as a doctor, this resonates with you, you're in a company already who could really benefit from working with us in partnership, and you believe it is a great place to work, and they are looking for more great doctors to work with to help them achieve their greater mission, an impactful mission, then please do reach out to myself or my team. One of the ways is going to medicfootprints.org/find great doctors, or email our team at team@medicfootprints.org, or just send me a message on LinkedIn. I get a lot of these days, and actually I do take my time to personally respond to each and every one. I love hearing from doctors. I love hearing about really interesting opportunities, and it's a great way for me to learn about what else is out there so I can bring that to the wider community. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I really appreciate it. Without your support and your feedback over time, this would not be possible. Medic Footprints would not be possible. And so please enable us to continue with our mission and continue really building a really strong brand amongst doctors in the UK and internationally. I hope you have a wonderful day, and looking forward to catching up with the next episode.